It's time to train you on training so you can train while you train. Hello everyone, Bront, CatHerder here. We're having some fun talking Raid Shadow Legends, and we have a wonderful champion training event going on here for Lydia's Soul. And, you know, some of you guys might actually be competing for that. My free-to-play here is casually competing for it. I don't expect to win it necessarily because I only have so many resources. I am, however, pushing for the extra rewards that you're going to get in general because those rewards are pretty good, and honestly, one of the best ways to progress your account is to build more 6-star champions. Now, I've talked about videos before where I've talked about how to do champion training from an endgame perspective, and oftentimes on my main account, I rarely leave the tavern. I have a bunch of chickens pretty much ready to go, so I take a 3-star, make them 4-star, feed them brews, make them 5 stars, feed them brews. Sometimes I just take a champion and just bring them up to level 6 because I have so many resources on my main account because I am in a different place than most free-to-play players are. So where are some of the younger accounts going to be and how are they going to handle champion training? Well, I'm here to give you a little bit of advice on it. First of all, depending on your activity in the game, how active you are in doing rewards, doing things, you're going to get this XP boost. Having not spent any money at all, I have never let this XP boost drop. Now, I have talked to people who played in the Hell Hades free-to-play challenge who somehow did lose this XP boost. And if you do, well then you know what? What you can do is instead of accepting some of these rewards, you can hold them up here in the inbox until you're ready to use them, and then use them for events like this champion training. I think that's probably the best place to use them for anytime you are seriously leveling people up in campaign, or you're doing anything like Minotaur leveling or anything like that. It is a great time to be using these events. That said, if you are very active, you should quickly find that you have weeks, if not months of this stuff ahead. I used to buy these occasionally on my main account, mostly because I would buy the mini mix packs, which still are not a bad deal, but the mini mix packs gave me so many of them that I think I have about a year and a half of this XP boost time left on my main account, which is absolutely ridiculous. So generally from playing, and some of this stuff is from Clan v Clan rewards, which we do have the Clan v Clan rewards going around right now. So you get 1 day here, you get 3 days here, you get like 1 day every other day with your daily login stuff. You get some from some of your advanced quests here, the 5-day one you get there every 5 days. Sometimes you get the 3-day one here from the advanced days. You can get them pretty regularly through some of these rewards as well. There are plenty of ways to get those XPs. If you don't have one used, save it up because champion training, especially if you're going to be doing some champion training in the campaign, which is what we're talking about, that is what you want to be doing. So what about the Guardian Ring? Where does that come into it? Well, what I have found for me is the Guardian Ring was a great investment in gems. I believe it was 250 to unlock. Maybe it was only 200 for each of these. I don't remember. You get one of them unlocked for free, and unlocking the rest of them is maybe 1,000, maybe 1,500 gems. It is well worth unlocking. The reason I found it well worth unlocking is what this has allowed me to do from a general account progression standpoint is I've been able to level up champions that I want to use, but I don't necessarily want to spend active time leveling with at the moment. So like Dur the Hungerer is a reviver for Demon Spawn. I'm not using him right now. When I need him for Demon Spawn, I will take him out of here, and he's slowly but surely leveled up from I think level 20 something all the way to level 39. So he has passively slowly increased his level. Dagger, another champion I use somewhat regularly in my Banner Lords. Want to get her maybe to 40. I might even 5-star her. I've got Gear Grinder here. I recently 5-starred him, so it will be nice to get him some levels so that he can survive in my Ogrin faction. And Lady Annabelle is certainly going to get built at some point in time, but until then I'm slowly but surely passively leveling her up until I get a chance to actually build her. And who knows, with the Bommel rotation coming in, maybe the time to build her actually is now, so maybe I'll actually focus on getting her to 6 stars, getting those masteries, and then, you know, letting her solo Bommel, because it's actually not that hard of a build. So that would be good. Otherwise, if I was not using them to level up all these extra champions that I kind of need some levels in here or there, I would then start throwing in, ideally, I think this is best for 4-star food. So 4-star food are champions that are currently 4 stars that I want to eventually make 5-star chicken. So On my main, I will traditionally put 5 champions of identical level in here and kind of level it up slowly but surely in here. And the reason that identical level is important is identical level means that every time I click in here, it's 5 of them I have to push forward. So I find that a lot more efficient. It's a lot easier to do. You generally are not losing a lot of time. Obviously, you can lose some great amount of time having one in there that hits, if all 5 of them hit at the same time. But overall, you're pretty consistent with all getting them at the same level, all getting them at the same time. And basically over about a week, they go from level 20 to level 40. And that means that every week you are getting yourself 5-star chickens, which is effectively a 6-star champion every week. So that makes a very good thing to do once you can kind of do it. But until you can kind of get enough champions to build your count up and do that, I think this works fairly well. Am I getting a lot of champion training out of this? No, this is not a champion training tool directly, other than it is for making chickens that you can level up later on. What this is good for, however, is slowly and passively leveling up champions that you want to use, but you don't necessarily want to dedicate time running campaign to level at that particular moment in time on your account. It's a very good way to passively make use of your time, passively make use of your gems, and overall grow your account without having to focus on leveling every single champion you ever want to use. So where in campaign is the best to farm for a low-end free-to-play account? Well, Brutal 12-3 is the spot to be. Generally, you will earn the most experience from this floor, and this floor is one of the easiest to clear with most nukers. Now, 12-6 is certainly an option if you need to farm boots. You know, the energy per experience is very similar here. The other thing that's nice, that's strange about 12-3 is shields sell for the most amount of money of any of these 6 particular artifacts. So you get the most silver out of farming stage 3 because you get shields as well. So yes, you may lose out on a very, very slight amount of XP going on stage 6. It is definitely not worth spending to stage 7, where you would be spending a little extra energy. And I mean, this is weird that I'm on super raids and it's not telling me the super raid rate there, but that's a weird bug that Polarium's been featuring recently. But stage 3 just works well. Stage 3 is great because with the XP boost that I've got going right now, it is 5 runs to get a 2-star champion from level 1 to level 20. It is 12 runs to get a champion from level 1 to level 30 for a 3-star champion. And I want to say it's like 26 or 28. I'm actually not 100% sure on the math for it for the 4-star because I have not been paying as much attention. Honestly, I probably should. But regardless, with the super raids, you can do this fairly quickly and just chug through a bunch of campaign. So, you know, 5 runs is 80 energy. So 80 energy takes me a 2-star to somebody that's potentially going to be a 3-star chicken or 3-star food I can feed into somebody else. It's about 190-ish energy for running your 3-stars all the way up. And then it's a little more than double that. So we're talking about 400 to 420 energy for a 4-star, getting all the way up to level 40 for a 5-star. Plus, you get Dungeon Diver points from this, so you get the extra silver from farming these shields, plus you get extra Dungeon Diver points. If we actually look at the Dungeon Diver event we have going on here right now, this is all from running campaign. Now, am I going to max it out running campaign? Probably not. But this is extra bonus rewards for doing Dungeon Divers, which makes this, again, another reason for me to doing this on this account. I'm getting some Clan v Clan points, not super amazing Clan v Clan points, but, you know, so far I've put up 40k just in running some energy here and, you know, booking a few champions, not really saving a lot for this, but, you know, we're doing okay. And this is not a PR CVC, so I'm not worried too much that I'm costing my team anything particularly exciting. And then overall, we've just been building up on champion training points. So where am I on champion training right now? Well, I've got 7,500 points here. I am almost at these additional primal shard, fragment, whatever's things here. I'm pretty sure I can get to this legendary book particularly easily. And I don't think I am going to be able to compete to get this Lydia Soul because first of all, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to this 1,500 points. I probably have the resources to do so, but I think it will cost me so many other resources that I don't see the value in it for this particular account. That said, I've been able to make one 6-star right now, and that was Cleoptrix. So I've got her finally at 6-star. I need to finish her masteries. I've got a lot of masteries here. I probably need to see if I can get her in some Savage. I don't think I can without stripping the Monkey King. So maybe I'll just kind of build her with high accuracy, good damage for now, and work on getting her into some Savage as I slowly but surely grow my Savage gear. But she should become my third or fourth nuker at this point in time, because I have Durandil, who hits particularly hard and he isn't lethal. I have my Monkey King here, he hits particularly hard and he isn't Savage. And then I have my Alice here, and she is built really well in Savage. And the three of them do decent enough jobs. Durandil does a good job for an epic. Cleoptrix probably is going to actually bring similar-ish damage to Durandil. He does have all this extra ignore defense, plus he has this wonderful A3 here that actually absolutely smacks. Maybe one day I'll actually get to booking him as well, but I just haven't had a chance to do it yet. Cleoptrix has more AoEs, which makes her highly functional. She is also going to be useful for the Hydra, because she will be a decent Hydra debuffer with some Hex to be the first reliable Hex champion I will have on this account. Books have been landing in places, certainly not quite where I would. I guess this isn't too bad. I want this to be fully mixed up at some point in time. I think this was the one I'd rather have booked first, but you know, it is what it is. And we'll get her up and we'll get her running, and Cleoptrix will certainly help this account. My next 6-star after that is probably going to be, as we mentioned before, I've got Thylesia is certainly an option. Lord Fabian is certainly, again, another option. And then finally, the one I'm kind of leaning towards is actually Lady Annabelle, because not only is she going to be very helpful for me in Faction Wars, and a faction that I am super struggling with because I just don't have a lot of really great Bannerlords, but she will actually help me get through Baumel 50, which I might be able to get through on a manual run, but if I can auto it with her, that's just an easier way to run through Baumel, and then I don't have to sit there and manual for 10 minutes through Baumel, and she'll get it taken care of. And she's worth having on the account. She's a good champion for a lot of other content in the same solo build that I might otherwise have. So I'm certainly looking forward to building her regardless. So she might be the one I need to deal with. Plus, I don't need to book her. I do have a blessing for her. In fact, I probably should go with Phantom Touch because that'll give me extra damage. And probably with, I don't have one of those yet. So probably with the one that if she goes below 50%, she immediately heals an extra 10%. I'll find one that'll actually work well for her and get her built with something interesting as far as a relic is concerned. But again, having a couple champions I want to 6-star is good, and sometimes it's a matter of actually notifying what champions I might want to 5-star. I mean, I would like Broadmaw at 5-star at some point in time because he's going to be my reviver for the Lizardman faction. Probably wouldn't mind Madame Cirrus being 5-star and eventually 6-star. Tashada, you know what? Tashada, I think I 4-starred and 40'd. Well, she's automatically 4-starred. I 40'd her because she gave me a revive. I haven't actually thrown gear on her yet because I haven't had a chance to focus on the barbarians much, and I don't have a lot going on with the barbarians. Same with like a Solban Boyer. Could be useful in the Barbarian Faction Wars, definitely useful for some of the secret rooms. Not necessarily a champion I feel I need to invest heavily in quite, although I do have a 3-star soul in her, and that helps as well. So identifying champions, Dagger is another one that could help me in Bannerlords, doing some damage as well. Super squishy, but you know, gives me some stuff to do. Probably need to figure out how to book her at some point in time. I don't have a lot of rare books. Rare books seem to be the actual rarest ones of all for this account. And you know, that's kind of where I go with the champion training. So how do I run the champion training? Well, again, I'll run the campaign. I will run it and sell everything for the most part because there's no reason to keep any of that gear. I'm making a ton of silver out of it. So you see the 20 million I've got right here. Some of this from selling other stuff, but honestly, I think I've made about 4 or 5 million just from running campaign on this account so far, and I still have some more energy resources left I can tap into, which will be great. And then when I'm done with upgrading a champion, so if I have to build somebody here, so let's go make a couple of 3-star chickens here, because that's what I like to do with these 2-stars. Those. All right, so now I've got some 3-star chickens. We'll go here, flip this around, and look at that. So I've got a 4-star here, got another 4-star we're going to make right here, and another 4-star. Apparently I got some other actual chickens from other content somewhere, possibly Doom Tower, or possibly some Centranos. I did some Centranos. Now that I've got her, I'm going to dump 6 potions into her, because she is going to be food for another champion. That gets her to level 25. That gets me a bunch of extra tournament points. that I didn't have a minute ago, and very, very low cost. So I want to do that again for you. Put, put 6 in there, put 6 in there. That is great. Now I can upgrade, and we'll take you, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 champions I have ready for chickens, and we will upgrade you. Now I've got a 5-star here. That's good. That gives me some progress towards making another champion. And then we will fill 8 here. So 8 gives me to level 28. You see, it's a nice, really, really close to the base here. Whether or not you want to do 8 or maybe just 6 here and maybe 4 on the 4 stars, it's going to be up to you. It's going to depend on how many brews you have. I have enough brews where I feel comfortable dumping that many brews into these champions now. If I was less than 200 or less than 100, I would probably slow down a little bit, but I've got plenty of them right now, so I don't really see it being a problem to hold off on too many brews. And it feels very free to play accessible to be able to do that. So now if I go take a look and get rid of my filters, so if I go now to upgrade rank, you can see here I've got 5 5-star chickens. So I could make Fabian a 6-star right now, or I could again build Lady Annabelle up, or I could do it with Thylesia. And which one of the ones I want to do? It is probably going to be Thylesia. So, well, actually not Thylesia. It's probably going to be Lady Annabelle, because I think Lady Annabelle is probably going to bring the most value to me right now with content that I'm going to have to face. That said, I think I have enough other materials lying around to probably push and maybe even 5-star Thylesia as well. So, we'll see how many 6 stars I can make in this champion training. Maybe I'll have a shot at that Lydia Soul. That Lydia Soul would be absolutely amazing, but I'm also so far away from Lydia that if I don't kill myself over it, I'm not going to be too upset with this free to play. Before you watch the video any further, did you know you can use the link down below and start a brand new raid account and get 2 amazing epics? You can get Rector Drath. You'll get her right from the start, right after the tutorial. And once at level 15, you will get yourself an Ugo. Rector Drath is an amazing support reviver. She will heal your team. She will give you perfect veils to protect you. She will throw decrease attack up there. And she has a revive, making it very easy to get through in the early game. And then on top of that, Ugo, you get at level 15 again, is a wonderful support champion. She does decreased defense. She does block buffs. She does healing. She does cleansing. She is an absolute great champion. Very helpful early game, very helpful at end game. They are very good champions in Hydra. They are very good champions all over the game. I use them regularly on every account that I work on. They are great champions and you can get them for free. But not only that, but in the first 72 hours of your account, you can use code Monkey King to get Sun Wukong, or you can use Supreme 6 to get yourself a Supreme Gallic. Both are amazing legendaries. Supreme 6 is a void legendary, so go for Gallic, I suspect. But you know what? Either one of them is absolutely amazing. Start a brand new account today. The steps are very easy. Log out of your Polarium Play account on PC or simply uninstall Polarium Play. Create a brand new account using the link. Download from there, run the install. It'll start up Polarium Play, and boom, there's your new account. If you are on Android or iOS, if you've never played before, you can download using my link and get the same benefits as well. It is an absolutely amazing way to start a brand new account, be it a free-to-play, be it a high-spend account, whatever you want to do. It helps support me, it helps get you into the game, and it's a great way to have some fun. Now let's get back to the video. One final thing on what champions I use as chickens or food and what champions I'm keeping. Well, I am keeping champions that are epics. I am not feeding epics at the moment. Epics are too good to feed, even if they are bad epics. It is nice to have an epic just in case for some reason an epic gets buffed. There are very few epics that I know I am never going to use on this account yet. Now I have some. In fact, if I go into my champion vault here in the reserve vault, I've got several that I am probably never going to use. But like the second Dawn Caller right here, she is a faction guardian. Same with this section, well, that's maybe not the second one. I've got 2 of this dude. They are faction guardians, and if he's not, then he should be. Maybe the other faction guardian is a different one that's got gear on him. I might have 3 of those. But faction guardians are going to be very, very good early on. So if I ever get dupes of some of these champions, they're going to become faction guardians and help me get some additional progress. Other champions may become useful in certain things. Or for example, I've got a Furgon here. Furgon is definitely going to be helpful for getting Mikage because I can fuse Mikage with her. That said, you'll notice that a lot of these are 21. So I was putting 4 brews into most of these early on as part of the champion training. And I probably should actually put 4 or 5 or 6 brews into some of these here that I'm currently not using, just to get a little extra to, it's extra points. It's hard to look at. So, or it's hard to look past. So I'm definitely not putting in epic champions. I'm 100% not ever going to feed a legendary on this account. As far as the rares are concerned, generally, if I have most of the rares that I think I will ever really want on this account. There's a few rares I certainly wouldn't mind. And that's not true. I am missing Pain Keepers. I need a bunch of Pain Keepers. I need at least 2 of them. I'd like 4 of them. But outside of the Pain Keepers, there's not a lot of rares that are really screaming, I need to build them as a rare until we get to some really endgame content, such as the secret rooms to get maybe a Ramontu or something along those lines. And I am so far away from that on this account that is not a focus for me. And rares will become easier to acquire as I advance this account. So for the most part, I am using rares as food. And then on top of that, I'm then summoning mystery shards to get myself some commons and some uncommons. At this point in time, because I have as many brews as I do, when I do have the 1 stars, I am not bothering running them through campaign anymore. I'm simply feeding 3 of them and a brew into them. That gives me a level 10. And then I feed 1 more into them. That turns 5 1 stars into a single 2 star. And then I use those as chickens for my 2 stars that I make to 3 stars. And I use those as chickens for my 3 stars that I get to 4 stars. And at that point in time, I start having to use rares, or I can certainly still use uncommons and even commons if I decide to level up a common that far. It doesn't really matter if you're going to feed them to somebody else anyway, what level they. So hopefully that helps you learn how to deal with champion training on an early game account, on a free-to-play account. Certainly when you have all the resources in the world, it's a lot easier to just kind of blow through these champion trainings. But, when you don't, you pick and choose your spots. And when you've got an event that makes it worthwhile going for, and again, a lot of these extra rewards in this champion training worthwhile. Souls, core hammers are not useful, but these are good. The coins are good. I actually got this reward while we were talking, so that's great. That's another good reward. This legendary book is going to be great. This mythical chaos ore, probably not something I'm going to use a lot on this account for a while, but eventually that will be very, very helpful. Even these 10 golden coins, at some point in time, that will be useful in the account. And again, if I get that Lydia soul, for me, I am going for, I believe it is a 5-star soul. Yes, that is a 5-star soul. I would love a 5-star soul on Lydia. It would make her so much easier to build on this account because it gives me an additional 75 accuracy. It would give me brimstone that would be protected, and that would just work really well with building her for anywhere I would decide to use her on this account. But if we look in Faction Wars, I'm just not close to her. I don't say I'm not close to her. I've got 731 out of the 945 stars. So I'm within 200 stars of collecting her, but I have Banner Lords that's just is not doing particularly well. I've got my Lizardmen that are not doing particularly well. And, barbarians that are not doing particularly well. So I need more champions. So my account needs to grow some more. And, champion training is one of the best ways to grow it. So, hey, let me know if you've got any tips or tricks that you use for champion training that maybe I didn't talk about. Let me know if this kind of thing helped you, if maybe this inspired you to dive into champion training a little bit more. I will let you know that is actually part of how I did as well as I did in the Hell Hades free-to-play. I was on top of champion training, had a ton of champions I was able to 6-star. I had 17 or 18 of them when we were through with the 8 or 9 week thing. And that was a large part of why I was able to get through so much content so quickly, because the power of 6-star champions is so huge that even a bad 6-star champion is better than a lot of regular okay to good 5-star champion. So don't be afraid to get somebody to 6-star. Don't be afraid to dive into champion training. And you know what? Most of all, have fun playing Raid Shadow Legends. This is a game. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I really do appreciate it. You guys are absolutely amazing. And until the next video, I'm Bront, CatHerder.